Political games continue in Malaysia despite calls for a ceasefire. Key players are meeting this evening, discussing their next moves before Parliament resumes next week. More twists and turns in Malaysia's rollercoaster politics just a day after the King called for unity. Members of Anwar Ibrahim's Pakatan Harapan coalition are meeting to discuss the next move, after Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin's request for emergency rule was denied by the King. Also gathering tonight, UMNO, the largest party in his Perikatan Nasional coalition. Speculation is rife it will choose a deputy prime minister candidate to shore up its standing in the grouping. The deal-making comes ahead of Parliament's meeting next week. The spotlight is on a budget to tackle the fallout from COVID-19. It will be a make-or-break challenge for Mr. Muhyiddin, who needs to shore up support and consolidate his razor-thin majority. While this goes on, Malaysia continues to grapple with a surge in COVID-19 infections.
Walaupun kita bagi masa untuk rehat, kadang-kadang tak boleh rehat. Kalau tengah malam pun dia bangun pukul 3, pukul 4, masih memikirkan bagaimana nak menyelesaikan masalah. Ini semua cabaran daripada kita semua, sama ada di lapangan, iaitu frontliners ataupun petugas barisan hadapan ataupun mereka di sebalik tabir.
Cases have more than doubled in recent weeks.
Melissa Goh joins us for more on this ever-changing story. Mel, any indication what Pakatan Harapan's next move might be, and how will it impact next week's Parliament session?
It's public holiday and no rest for politicians. Now, Pakatan Harapan, the three-party opposition coalition led by Anwar Ibrahim, met for over 2 hours this afternoon and issued a joint statement after that. None of the party leaders want to speak to the media. Now, PKR Information Chief Fahmi Fadzil read out a statement urging Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin to heed the King's advice and immediately commence a discussion with the opposition MPs so that Budget 2021 can be passed without a glitch when it's tabled in Parliament next Friday on November 6th. Now, it's urgent. Pakatan Harapan leaders I spoke with said they can't support the budget blindly simply because the King asked them to do so. Now, Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin, in a statement issued by the palace on Wednesday, again called on lawmakers to put aside their political differences and ensure that budget is passed swiftly so that the funds can be disbursed quickly to those in need the most, such as the frontliners fighting COVID-19, the poor and the unemployed, and those who are most affected by the pandemic. Now, let's listen in to what Pakatan Harapan wants.
Majlis Presiden Pakatan Harapan amat bersetuju dengan Duli Yang Maha Mulia yang di-Pertuan Agong bahawa amatlah penting dan serius untuk Belanjawan 2020 ini dirundingkan dengan pembangkang sebelum dibentang di Parlimen. Maka Perdana Menteri harus menjunjung titah yang di-Pertuan Agong dengan mengadakan perbincangan dan rundingan segera dengan pihak pembangkang berkenaan isi kandungan Belanjawan 2021 sebelum ia dibentangkan di Parlimen pada 6 hari bulan November supaya ia dapat mencapai objektif-objektif yang diingini Tuan.
Now, the opposition certainly reaching out to Prime Minister Muhyiddin Perikatan Nasional government. Now, Anwar is calling for a bipartisan committee to look into measures post-COVID-19 to resuscitate the economy and so on, including rolling over the debt moratorium till year-end because a lot of businesses are suffering. But some within the government argue that such consultation is not necessary, will only slow things down because the King, in the statement on Wednesday, has never mentioned about consultation or a bipartisan committee. Well, the budget tabling is just a week away and time is running out. If there's going to be any bipartisan efforts, it has to take place soon. But the budget, even though it's tabled next Friday, will only come up for a vote the earliest on November 23rd at the policy stage, so it's not immediate. But if Prime Minister Muhyiddin failed to get it passed, then it's tantamount to a no-confidence motion, many are saying. And if his government falls, a snap election is maybe inevitable within 60 days, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Mel, separately, UMNO, I believe, is having a Supreme Council meeting. It is the second one in less than a week. What's that all about?
Well, the media, we are all back here again at the ex-ruling party headquarters. Barely a few days ago, the party's highest decision-making body had a late-night meeting and decided to maintain the status quo and back Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin, remember? But sources are saying that UMNO support doesn't come without conditions, without string attached. One of it is the much coveted Deputy Prime Minister post that the party president is said to be eyeing for it. Well, it's a decision that the UMNO Supreme Council will have to decide tonight, because the party president Ahmad Zahid Hamidi is facing multiple corruption and money laundering charges in court. And if found guilty, he can be jailed for years. So the meeting is starting anytime soon, and we hope to speak to some of the leaders later on. Let's hope it's not a long night, but looking at the way, it's going to be a marathon one. It's going to be another long night for us here at Putra World Trade Center. Back to you.
Thank you for keeping an eye on it for us. Melissa Go there speaking to us from Kuala Lumpur.